Hello walkers, and welcome back to Anaconda, Montana on a cool, crisp December morning. We're starting out here at the corner of Commercial and Main. This is the Smelter Brewing company that I talked so much about in my earlier video of walking around Anaconda. I wanted to give you a close-up view. I know I'm kind of raving about this, but I really love this brewery and bar, and I would love to come back and tip a couple pints. And even in the summer when this outdoor area is probably going to be open. And like that. So it is 27 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 3 degrees Celsius. It's about 10:15 in the morning here in Anaconda, Montana, along the Pintlar range, or the Anaconda range, the Pintlars they call them. I'm out doing a bunch of walks today. I'm doing a big drive. I started out doing a walk here earlier this morning, took a little bit of a break, and now I'm going to take you up Main Street. We're about to cross Park here. I love these old buildings. I want to give you a close-up view of these, even though we walked past them on the other side of the street in my other walk. I'm going to give you a secret word. Hopefully I'll remember to do it within the first 10 minutes. And the first person to give me that secret word in the comments section, the YouTube comments below, I will give you a shout out in the first video. Well, this will be the second video that I film after I get that comment. So I'm going to film a couple more today. So it may take a few more walks before I get to your actual comment. We're going to look down Park here. This old street area. We'll hopefully get a better view of that later on. There's the old Montana Hotel. And I'm going to go to this little park here because I got people behind me. I want to let them pass and show you these deer and the big Anaconda sign. The beautiful sun on the mountains in the back. That becolumned place up there is post office. A few things. I am Henry. I will be your proxy walker, your virtual travel guide today. That's going to be part of my intro now. There's Thompson's Bar. And then the Eagles up here. I've got a whole script that I actually wrote out that I wanted to read you guys. And I'll get more to Anaconda here in a second. And I'm not going to pull up the script because I'm already in this and I should have read it before. But I do want to ask you guys a favor. The whole secret word thing is based on a book I read and inspired by another channel, Watched Walker. But there's two reasons. One, I mentioned last, was the ritual aspect of having you guys have this thing that you can rely on and expect. Another is the longer you watch, the longer the watch time on these videos, the more YouTube likes them and will surface them for others to see. And so the favor I'd like to ask is, when you're about to click off, if you're not at the end, but before you go off and do whatever else you are hoping to do, just watch for another 30 seconds. If you would do that for me, that would be a huge help, believe it or not. So simple, yet so effective. I want to show you this park over here. I love these little community parks and community structures and, well, just everything community. I'm going to go through here and then I'm going to come back to to Main Street here. It's a little bit slick. They've had some overflow because I think what they've done, pretty sure what they've done here, and I bet this is beautiful at night, is they are in the process of flooding this central circular area for ice skating. And I absolutely love that idea. I'm not entirely sure that's what they're doing, but I've seen some skating silhouettes around, so I think that is what they're doing. I think that is so cool for some reason. And to be out here with these lights on, I bet it's absolutely fantastic. So I might have to come back here with Melinda and the boys, Traveling Mel and the boys, and see if we can do an evening skate or something like that. All right, back. I'm not going to walk on the sides because that is trepidatious. This is the Washoe Theater. Love these old single screen theaters. Super cool. Love that signage as well. And then we've got a church. And this building on the other side of the park is the old high school. But before I talk about that, let's talk a little bit about Anaconda. I mentioned a lot of this in the last walk, but I will do a quick recap. It's essentially a mining town founded by one of the Copper Kings out of Butte. He had a smelter here that ran for about 100 years. Smelting, I guess, is the verb. Chemicals and ore and all sorts of stuff, which in the end left 100 years of toxic waste. And so it became a super fun site. They brought in a ton of topsoil to cover everything up, shipped out a lot of the old nastiness, but it's still, there's still a lot of debate and controversy around it, which about the toxicity of the soils and that sort of thing and how safe it is. So do a little Google research on that if you'd like. This is the old library. Beautiful, cool old building. Obviously, you can tell on this street that there has been a lot of money at one point in this town. In fact, they were lobbying to make it the state capital when Montana was gaining its statehood. They, of course, lost out to Helena. This is a cool library. Love it. Yeah, population about 9,000. Hard going here. It's hard to make a living everywhere in Montana, but especially so, I think, in Anaconda. Correct me if you're local and I'm absolutely wrong. But that is the impression I get from people that have lived here. It's also the county seat, and there's a county courthouse up ahead that we're going to go see. And there's the new high school, the Copperheads, which is a little ironic. Maybe not. Copperhead snakes live in, I think of as living back east. But I guess there's the Copperheads of the Civil War era, and probably Copperhead was probably a term for maybe copper miners. You know what? I'm going to loop. Am I? Yeah, I'm going to loop back because I want to show you a couple of these old houses. Just because I think they're neat. Old turn of the 1800s, early 1900s houses. I forgot to tell you, this is 5th Street. And we'll be coming up on Hickory Street. So look at this old place. Oh, this is something I mentioned in the last one too. One of the great things about these little Montana towns is, well, not always great, but the wildlife. So comes into town. So you end up with deer in your yard. Oh, there's 3 of them. Nice. I saw a nice sized buck earlier, and here I am 25 feet away. They're not too concerned, more so with the dog. Beautiful house. Anyway, not so great when it's a cougar or a bear, but deer are fine. Look at this beautiful old home. Love it. And then across here, across the street is another one. Another great thing about these towns is I can walk down the middle of the street And it's not a problem because there's barely any traffic. All right, and then here's some more. This is Hickory Street, I think I mentioned. I usually have my little spiel down, but I'm trying to work on this channel a little bit more, and I haven't quite learned a new spiel yet. So bear with me. Those are I assume the Pintlar Mountains. We're headed kind of south, and about 8 miles south is the Continental Divide. Runs through here. So, oh, and I didn't mention the elevation in the last one. It's a little bit over 5,000 feet of elevation, 1,600 meters, I think that is. Which I live at about 4,000, I think, so it's not that big a deal to me. If you're coming out here to visit, you're going to want to factor that in and drink plenty of water, because it does dry you out rather quickly. And we're going to loop back to Main Street here. Now this says it's, this big gray cement building says it's the Memorial Gym, but it looks a lot like a National Guard armory to me. If you know if that has ever been a National Guard armory, I'd love to hear. Or something else, I guess. More cool houses down that way. Friendly dogs. Hooligans. I don't know what the school situation is. I don't think people are out on break yet. And I don't know what the situation here is in Anaconda on in-person versus remote learning. And, but it's easily researched. Another thing I mentioned in the earlier video, which I will try to link to in the little notes that pop up. We're back on Main here, and take a look to the left, and then we'll head back uphill. Is that my eyesight has gotten so bad I can't read the numbers and info on the little GoPro screen that I'm using, so I have to carry my readers with me. Make sure I don't do things like run out of battery or run out of card space. Hope you guys are all doing well. I know the holidays are approaching, at least for the Christian world, and it's tough times. 2020 is a tough year, so I've been trying to tell people to hang in there. Look, take care of yourselves and take care of your friends and family. Reach out to them, connect with them. Sometimes that little bit of personal connection can make all the difference. We can get through this together, as I've been saying, and I'm thinking about you guys, so hang in there. The lockdown will pass eventually. Coming up on 7th Street. Now, I don't know if you can, not yet, we'll take a look in a second. This is the Deer Lodge County Courthouse. I would say one of the larger county courthouses in Montana. Pretty nice building. Well set off from the rest of town with becomes a focal point, which is pretty cool. It was 1898, which must have been the year it was built, which is If you can imagine 1898 in Montana, it wasn't the most metropolitan of places, but they've managed to build some pretty cool buildings. And the state motto, or the state, not the state motto, the state logo, it's on the flag, Oro y Plata, gold and silver, because traditionally, much of the wealth in the economy has depended on mineral extraction. Hence, a lot of the Superfund cleanups, with some notable exceptions, of course, like the Stillwater mine has done a really good job, won a lot of awards for being environmentally responsible. Up on the had my GoPro do something strange there, so hopefully we don't have too bad of a break in the video, and I don't mess up the audio too badly because I am using a Zoom H1 recorder. I'm not sure what happened. I did mess with the file settings in terms of using the HEVC as opposed to the sort of best for circumstances setting. And possibly it just, what does he call it? The cache maybe filled up or something. Anyway, here's the law enforcement center for the Anaconda Deer Lodge. So I mentioned the population of being about 9,000, and in Montana, I don't know about other places, but I don't know what that is, an old church maybe? They have these, Butte does this too, it's a city-county complex, and so that population is for the city and county. I think the actual county, or the actual city, central city area is closer to 5,000, pardon my sniffles, and which surprises me a bit because this is a pretty big footprint for a city of that small size. So, you know, I live in Livingston, that's 7 to 8,000, 7 or 8,000, and I don't feel like it's got quite the same, it's the same or smaller, it feels like, but maybe I'm not thinking of the outlying areas, some of the suburbs, again, pardon my sniffles. Anyway, that's pretty cool. A lot of these houses are really small, so they probably don't hold that many people. Oh, I forgot to tell you what street we're on. I'll tell you up here as we approach 7th. It is a beautiful day. It's warming up pretty quickly, which is nice. You see that little ridge line in the distance, that's at the base of that is Warm Springs Creek. And I think it was the source of the water for the original smelter. And this was, I think this town was started, according to Wikipedia anyway, which I will link to in the description, YouTube description. Was founded around the 1880s, sorry. 1880s for copper processing. And I'm going to cross the street here. We're on Oak Street, by the way. Good. And you're going to be able to see the giant smokestack in the distance. And that smokestack sits on a giant, I believe a giant mountain of basically mine tailings. I like to, when I've been walking around these towns in Montana, I like to point out the license plate county numbers. And normally it's pretty clear. I'm not familiar with Deer Lodge, but I'm guessing it's 30, although I'm seeing a lot of number ones as well. So perhaps that's a nearby county. I know Butte Silverbow is 3. No, is that right? Maybe it's 1. Helena's 5. I think Billings is 3. If you know, comment in the section below. And comment, let me know, if you don't mind, if you've checked out the Roku or Amazon Fire channel yet. If so, what you think. They're still kind of working on the details, especially on the Roku. They had a technical issue with the way they were setting it up, and they have to deal with that. It's more of a structural issue before they can get it finalized. But it's up and it's got some videos. It's just not bringing in new videos. If you're looking for a residential property, here's one for sale right near downtown. Nice big spruce tree, I think that is. Yep. Quiet neighborhood. I mean, I am walking down the middle of the street, so it's pretty quiet. Coming up on 5th Street. And the plan here is to continue on down this way to park again and to make a right, or to head east-ish, and take a look at a couple more things down there. So stick with us. We are not yet done. Oh, sorry about that. One of the things I don't really worry about, but I'm conscious of, are the looks people give me as I walk around with this contraption, which is basically a GoPro on the end of a little arm, spring-loaded arm, to try and mitigate some of the vertical axis movement. I need to add some more weight, I think. It's a Scotty Makes Micro 2. I got it because you can put the GoPro on it, but I think it's meant for heavier weight, and so I need to get a counterweight for it. It's doing an all right job, but I think it could be better. Off to the left is a bar, it looks like, or something called the Round Pen, which is a kind of corral. I think they use them for handling horses, training horses. We're on 4th Street here. Be careful not to run out of card. With the other walk, I pushed it a little bit, make it a little bit longer. That's not the right phrasing. To add in some extra content, and forgot that I have my extra card in the car, which is not close by. Copperhead Square, fun playground. Anyway, I got enough space, but I want to make sure I get in the good stuff before it's too late. Coming up on 3rd Street. This looks like a community center, gymnasium as well, brick building. You can see sort of some snow-capped mountains that way. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties with the camera card, so hopefully this will stay with us and keep working as we get towards Park Street. We don't have that much longer, 5 or 10 minutes. So hang in there. This is a shorter walk than last time. I don't know what's going on with that card. Anyway. Again, Park Street is one way direction going east, and Commercial is one block over and direction going west. I think roughly west. I'm not going to promise the exact numbers there, but all right, and we are going to make an east turn and see a couple old buildings and then cross over, possibly illegally, to see a neat park. Here's Aware, looks like an art gallery, and Donovan's looks like a pretty cool pub and casino. I'd go there, heck yeah. And across the way we have Connor's Law Firm and Hickory House Inn. I think